I've always loved Pokemon. I always loved Mew. I played through Red and managed to get the Mew glitch to work, so I have Mew. I had traded over to Yellow when I got it and played through that, but I could never get it traded to Sapphire, so I just played through it. As I played through it, I developed a new favorite Pokemon. This Pokemon was Poochyena. I absolutely loved its call. I caught it right away when I saw it, and trained it. It was my highest leveled Pokemon. It was always at least 10 levels higher than my other Pokemon. When I finished my Pokemon Sapphire, I traded Arambe, the Poochyena, into Diamond. This process lasted all the way to Soul Silver. When I finished Soul Silver, though, I remembered about Mew. I decided to get an action replay and get a code for Mew. I walked downstairs and noticed my mom was already getting ready to leave to go to the store. I asked if I could come with her to get an action replay. She let me come along. I got the action replay and got home. I put in the game and the action replay. Luckily for me, the action replay already had a Pokemon modifier code. All I had to do was remember what Mew's Pokedex number was. I selected the code and booted up the game. I got Mew after a while. Somehow, its name was Pinkani, the name of my original Mew. I didn't think anything of it then. I should have, though. I went ahead and decided to save the game and play Red again, just for some fun. When I played Red, I noticed that Pinkani wasn't in my team. I went over to the PC and I couldn't find Pinkani. I panicked. I went back to play Soul Silver to check my Mew's status in the game. Oddly enough, each status was 100% the same as Pinkani's status in Red. The moves were the same also. I decided to try and ignore this. This could be irony. Pure irony. I went off to battle the Elite Four. First, I battled Will, and his first Pokemon, Satu. The thing that freaked me out was that Arambe was in the first slot of my Pokemon team, but Pinkani was sent out. I tried to ignore this. I decided to switch out Arambe, but when I clicked Pokemon, I heard a screech blast through my speakers, then a text box appeared. Pinkani wants to battle. I shrugged and selected a move. Pinkani used Parasong. Any Pokemon hearing this song will die in 3 turns. As I read the text box, I shivered. I don't remember it saying that the Pokemon would die. After 3 turns had passed, somehow, Will already lost. When Will's sprite came up, his eyes made a paranoid look. He was covered in blood. The text box read, "You won! You won! Please just take the money and keep that thing away from me!" As that thing came up, you could hear a demonic version of Mew's call, but as if it were laughing. I beat the Elite Four again, but every one of them yelled in fear, looked paranoid, and there was always a demonic laugh from the DS. If it wasn't that scary enough each time I finished a battle, Pinkani's sprite would get bloodier and bloodier. When I was respawned in my home, I decided to look at Pinkani's status. I regret doing so. Her eyes were glowing red. She was crying blood. And she had this smirk on her face. Some of her flesh was coming off, and you could see her left back leg's bone. I screamed in horror from that image of the once cute Mew. Right away, I left the status page. I ran to the nearest PC so I could release Pinkani. I successfully released her. Her cry was demonic and sad. I sighed with happiness to not have viewed that horror again. That thought faded away when a text box appeared. "I will make you love me again no matter what happens." I went ahead and went outside to level up Arambe. He was only 1 level away from 100. When I walked over to the tall grass and encountered a Pokemon, I screamed. My heart was racing. It was Pinkani. She looked worse than before. This time, you could see each and every one of her teeth covered in blood. The skin was ripped off that covered her teeth. I tried running from her, but a text box kept coming up. You will not run from me. I will make you love me. I will always be your favorite. I decided to throw a Pokeball, but another text box appeared. I'm not going back until I fix this. I looked at it, and for some reason said, fix what? What is she talking about? I jumped out of saying that. A voice came from my DS. It was demonic. It said, you know what I'm talking about. I am your favorite Pokemon. I need to fix this mess up. I shivered from the voice. I went to turn the game off. I thought that would fix it. Don't you dare touch that button! The voice screamed again. Then I noticed the only option I had was to battle her. I selected fight. Before I could choose a move, Pinkani jumped onto Harambe. I could hear Harambe's cry. It sounded as if it was from sheer terror. I turned away as Pinkani ripped off Harambe's limbs. I started to cry. I couldn't stand hearing the yelps of pain from Harambe. I turned back to the screen. It was covered in blood. I could hear Pinkani ripping apart Harambe. He still howled in pain. After a while, I was covered in tears. I was in the nearest corner, shaking in fear. Noticed that it was completely quiet. I looked over to the DS. The screen had faded to black. And when I looked at it, it faded back to the battle. I almost grabbed my DS and threw it from the image. The battle music had started up. This time, it was slowed down, backwards, and low-pitched. I tried to keep myself from crying. Ormbeer's legs, tail, ears, and nose were missing. He was covered in blood. Pinkani had a happy look on her face. She jumped onto the screen. A happy cry came from her. It still sounded demonic, but happy. A text box appeared. Now I will always be your favorite. I'm a Poochyena now, and a Mew, both your favorite Pokemon. I started to cry. Pinkani opened her eyes and tilted her head. What's wrong? You love me, don't you? No, Pinkani, you scare me. I hate you. I don't want you. You ripped Harambe to shreds. Why would I love you? I screamed, crying even harder now. Pinkani started to cry. I did all this for you. I loved you, but if you hate me, I'll make sure you can never love any other Pokemon. She screamed. The animation played through. Pinkani was killing every Pokemon on Trainer. I grabbed my DS before she finished and turned it off. I threw it across the room and sat in the corner crying. I didn't play the game for a whole 2 years. When I went back to play it, I forgot all about Pinkani until a text box showed up before the title screen. It was Pinkani. There's no use. There's nothing here to do. Everything is dead. Everything! I slowly stared at the text box as I turned off the DS and threw away the game.